so much running, everybody kind of knows what to expect and where. So, you know, you can imagine Winwood saying to Stoltz, remember, this is where the Ferrari is good, and he starts to cover that off in the same way that they might say at AF Corsa, be mindful of Guven at La Source.
Yeah, he's in between a rock and a hard place, so Stoltz, because he's got to cover the inside. That's not for question. But all the running that you talk about is also rubbing up the racing line, which is the outside there. So that's where I think Rivera is able to brake so late.
Race control to all teams. Marshals report light rain now in turn 10.
So
that tends poor one, isn't it?
Yeah, but you see the wipers coming on of Stoltz. It's the first time I've seen a leader with anything wiper action. And again, he's just got it on the slow wipe. Can't see anything on the windscreen of Rivera just yet. We're catching traffic. This is going to add something into the mix.
Prining's already cleared that traffic, of course, as he's gone by. So over the timing line, 49 minutes and counting, still to go. So the clock ticks on down, and we are round and about 14 minutes off a pit stop, if you look at the stint time.
Yeah, and when are people going to box? As now I think everyone is just waiting for a full course yellow as Lockenham gets out the way, but quite in the middle of the road, and then moves over to give it a bit more space. And again, it's the same sort of distance, isn't it, for the Ferrari? Potentially not close enough to get the move done. But
he's very quick going up the hill, is Rovera, and again, he's just about close enough to get a toe. That's where Guven seems to struggle through a Rouge. Spends the rest of the lap coming back, and here comes Rovera. Stoltz knows what's coming, and this is Rovera to the outside line, but he's not able to get fully alongside, and there are now some spots of rain starting to fall on the windscreen. Not enough to make the track treacherous, but Rovera crawling all over the back of that Mercedes AMG. Is there a gap at Bruxelles? Well, if there is, he's not able to really take advantage because he can't get up alongside in time.
Stoltz is metronomic, isn't he? He's just one of those drivers. I just generally can't remember a single mistake out of him, and he's just able to do the same thing. And Rivera is just trying to prise open that safe to go and steal the cash that's hidden inside it. I guess the greedy part of me would kind of go, well, if Rivera could get past Stoltz, has he got the same pace as Pruning? Yes, he does, on average. And at the moment, Stoltz potentially is taking it away from us of a lead battle, but he does not care about that. He wants as many points as he can for the championship in GT World Challenge Europe, but also in IGTC as well, of course. No more wiper action just yet for these cars, but it's in the air, and it is definitely in the area.
But is it going to develop? Is it going to soak the circuit? And at what point does that lack of rain light, not the fact that it's not on, the fact that it doesn't exist on that Porsche, going to be a factor? If it's just a bit of drizzle, might not be a problem. But if it's torrential rain, you could argue they've got bigger problems anyway. So down towards the chicane comes Lucas Stoltz. Thomas Prining's already been across the line. We've done 23 hours and 12 minutes. Or if you prefer, 47 minutes to go. The Ferrari is in. So this is Rovera coming in with 48 minutes done.
This is the undercut, so we haven't seen it really done for Anger, but now is the time. And I think this is because they know if they don't do it now, the gap to Pruning is too big. So we need a clean pit stop, of course, and then we need to pray for no traffic on the outlap for the AF Course Ferrari. They also need to pray that there isn't a safety car or full course yellow effectively in the next 12 minutes would clear them of that, hurting them potentially. Brand new set of Pirellis going on. They're going to get the hardest drive of their life. 45 minutes remaining, so the team will probably short fuel the car. Still needs to be connected for the 44 seconds, but they won't put potentially 110 kilos of fuel inside that.
Now, Pruning has got another 10 minutes before he runs out of stint, but do they come in next to try and counter this?
He can't afford it. If there's a full course yellow, right, he loses the win. He's lucky that he's got 20 seconds, so the maximum real difference in amount of laps, I could see the gap being sub 10 seconds by the time Pruning pits if it all stays green, but he's lucky to have a 20-second advantage right now.
And Rovera's going to stay in to the end as the quickest of the three. Now, what does Lion Speed do? Only brings the car in. Do they keep Pruning in? I'd suggest so.
I would say so too. I think everyone is looking to do this sort of last double. It's not effectively a double because it was a short 38-minute stop for a stint for most. So it's a stint and a half. Drivers adrenaline. They know that's their last pit stop, hopefully with the amount of rear right punches they've had.
Right, Rovera down the pit lane. Is this a winning car? Is there a sting in the tail? Is there anything else that can try to trip up Ferrari? It has had mega pace, but what a race it's had. we were saying a little while ago, Jonathan Grace and I, you can write a book on each car in this race, and this has had quite a story.
It's just about going to stay on the lead lap as well, interestingly. So that's the other negative of doing your pit stop early. The leader coming into the last chicane now, 20 seconds behind the 2-minute pit stop, 2 minutes 20 last time by for Thomas Bryning. What was his lap time? 2 minutes 20. So that is going to be pretty close for staying on the lead lap. I'm sure he will, and maybe that was the last consideration for me. Of course, it had to be now or never if they were going to try the undercut on this 48 Winwood car, which responds as well. So the bluff has been called. Guven stays out. So now this is a real intense out lap for the Ferrari. He's only got 1 lap difference to this car to go there. He's got to find a difference to get second place. So
down the pit lane then now comes the Winwood Mercedes, and as it does so, Lucas Stolt, what do we expect? He'll stay in?
Yeah, I think so close. All 3 of them are so good, aren't they? You'd guess Engel if you had a gun to your head. I keep talking about weapons, sorry about that. And then I just wonder, the other thing to consider is if the rain does come in, these guys now need to do an extra stop for wets, whereas the cars have stayed out in slicks. I don't think that's going to be a consideration. I can't see wet tyres being needed in the next 10 minutes. This is a bad outlet. Oh, no.
Rovera's got stuck behind the Audi and the Mercedes, so he's got 2 cars, got past 1. There's more traffic up the road. So we've got Lucas Auer taking over 48. That answers that. Here is Rovera, gets through on the inside of the traffic, but there are still more back markers to go. Not what he needed at all.
This middle sector needs to be a 103 high, maybe a 4 low would be good enough to jump the 48 Mercedes. I can't see it happening. I feel so sorry for him. The cars around him won't understand the importance of this outlap for him either, so they're getting out of the way, but not quick enough. It's a 104.7 middle sector. I can't see this outlap being good enough to jump this Mercedes.
Well, let's keep an eye, because the Mercedes stop is nearly done. Old tyres off, fuel in. Lucas Auer is in the car. Lucas Stoltz done. Maro Engel done. The car controller says we're ready when you are. It's all down to the man with the hose. As soon as the connection time is done, here's Rovera through the traffic. There's another Winwood run Mercedes just up the road, and now he's got to make the run all the way down to La Source, all the way down the hill. The Mercedes ought to be on the move very, very shortly. There it is. So it looks like it's ahead, but don't forget, it's still got a fair bit of pit lane and the climb the other side to do. It is going to be close.
Yeah, the momentum key. I think it's kept the lead. It couldn't have almost been worse with the traffic for Rovera in the 51 Ferrari. He's just coming into shot now.
It's be marginal, this, isn't it? Here comes Auer. I think the Ferrari's
the second one.
Yeah,
it's the second Ferrari, sorry.
It is behind the Winwood Mercedes that he encounters on the line, and back on track is Auer. So there is the Mercedes then that comes back out onto the circuit. And behind it is there, going to the inside line, Alessio Rovera. He got stuck just briefly, did he not, behind Gabriele Piana, and now he clears the other Winwood car.
Yeah, like you said, it was a Winwood Mercedes that cost him time. I think it was fair. It wasn't dirty from the other Winwood car. If only there was an AF Course Ferrari in front of that 48 car.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. The team, I think, was looking at the wrong Ferrari as much as willing it to be the leading Ferrari. But now, as you say, lights on. Lucas Auer has got to get past the next AF Corsa car up the road, and the lights are being flashed a long time in advance, and this could be Rovera's last hope that the sister car delays the yellow Mercedes. Let's have a look and see whether that Mercedes got in the way. I think it was just wrong place, wrong time.
Didn't do anything wrong at all, that Mercedes. No. It was the whole lap was compromised. The Audi, the Mercedes. We've got a gap at the moment. You'll see it closed down. The brake is a bit suspicious, I have to admit, from the Mercedes, then gets run out. I'd be interested to listen in on the radio on the team if they were told anything, then the indicator.
Yeah,
passive aggressive.
Sign inside the car. I think Rovera is delighted, and you'll see now, look, that Auer has cleared the other Ferrari. So there, towards us, getting out of the way, is Francesco Bracci, but where the Gabriele Piana was being overly defensive, he'll of course say no, of course not.
Guven in the box as well. I think he's going to slot in very close. We've had a good outlap for Auer. He's been quick.
Don't forget that penalty though for the Porsche 22. You've got that 5 seconds, so that's going to compromise things a little, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. That will mean these two are clear. And if we're going to see anything but an 80 Porsche win, Rivera needs to clear the Mercedes ASAP. I say within 3 laps to have any chance.
ASAP for AF. Right, down the hill goes the number 51 Ferrari, and the gap to it was 11 tenths over the line. And remember, when he caught that Mercedes in the previous stint, he couldn't get past. There's Guven making his way out of the pit lane. Is it Guven still? The transponder says yes, so he will fall back in 4th, just ahead, I think, the Picariello there, and the Boots and VDS car goes ahead on the run up the hill. So the 5 seconds have certainly hurt Guven, and that is not the same Boots and car, is it? That's the number 10, Gilles Magnus entry. Hey, get this, number 10 not only might finish a race, it's going to finish a 24-hour race. How about that?
When there's feast, there is famine.
Absolutely.
It's gone one way or the other. A bit of smoke coming out the back of the black Porsche. I think it's probably just an oil breather. It wasn't a huge amount. It was just a puff of smoke somewhere in the middle of the diffuser. Sometimes these engines, when they get hot, the oil obviously expands and then they just breathe out the excess gas. So something to keep an eye on. But that car definitely needs some rear end work at the end of this race.
Does it ever? So that does now look as though the Schumacher CLRT car is just a bit too far back with 39 minutes to go. You've got Thomas Preining then in the lead, but he's still got to do his last pit stop, and he's about 4 minutes away, 3 minutes really away now. So there is one absolutely vital pit stop to come for Thomas Preining. And let us see what Lion Speed can do when they have to turn around that car in the next couple of laps. This is Lucas Auer then in 2nd place. And for 3rd, Alessio Rovera. And he's not getting up yet with that Mercedes AMG. Through traffic, clear the Porsche, going through Blanchimont. Rovera, absolutely nothing to lose here. He's leaving nothing on the table as he hurtles through Blanchimont.
If you want an illustration of what new tyres do, how easy flat Blanchimont was there. Last time we rode on board there, we were on and off the throttle 4 or 5 times, and that's why the lap times drop at the start of the session. Even though the fuel should slow the car down by about 1.2 seconds, the new tyres worth around 2, so you're 8 tenths up on the deal at the start of your stint. And of course, these cars won't be full of fuel because we're not doing a full 1 hour, 45 minutes for Rivera at the start of his stint.
Number 2 Porsche Picariello has just come in, so there's another shuffle to the order. So it's Preining from Leclerc, from Harper, from Chavez, from Van der Linde, all of whom owe us a pit stop.
Yeah, so they're praying for a full course yellow. That would shuffle them up. It would almost seal the win for the 80 car, and that's what we're looking at now, aren't we? And I have to say, Auer's pace is really good, isn't it, at the start of this run so far? Rivera unable to do anything about him.
But he is a bit nearer, I would suggest, coming up to Les Combes this time. It's lap 5:25 for them. Thomas Preining a long way up the road, of course, because you lose about 2 minutes on that pit stop. Down to Bruxelles, they turn. We've got Ferrari still leading in silver. Alessandro Balzan from Jeff McGill's now. Silver's been really shuffly today. That's probably been the most up and down sort of a battle, although it's always been a nail biter for the outright win. We're not quite into the last half hour, but we're not far away as the 2nd and 3rd place battle comes downhill. Rovera looking more of a threat, staying as close as he possibly can, but not wanting to sit in the dirty air for too long. Out of Paul they go. That's where we had that last report of some light rain, but it's just not amounting to anything. It's teasing everybody.
Yeah, the humidity's so high it could break at any point, but all the weather radars have no idea what's going on. I can actually see some blue sky again now to my left down towards Stavolo, so maybe the false dawn of rain has blown away. Has the wind blown away for the 51 Ferrari from what was such a dominant start of this race?
It was indeed, but those 3 tyre issues, one, a slow puncture that went bang, another slow puncture, and then contact causing a failure. They've all added up as 50 gets away now. Arthur Leclerc, having brought the car in, actually 2nd and 3rd place battle. It is Auer ahead. Behind him, Rovera. This is the run down to the chicane. They get to the braking zone. You can see the Ferrari starting to edge a little bit nearer. Just up the road ahead is Ben Green, 28th, and he's in the Pro-Am leading Corvette and the IGTC independent leading Corvette. He's got the Tsunami Porsche of Fabio Babini ahead of him. So has to get between the two, and as Ben Green slowed out of good manners, I think he has, and the Porsche likewise. So the team saying these are leading the race, get out of the way. And both drivers very experienced. Fabio Babini has been around for a long, long time, and they slow right down as into the pit lane comes Thomas Preining. This is the most important pit stop of the race.
It really is. They couldn't have gone a lap longer. It was now or never, and that's what it will feel like for Lion Speed, who are going to serve this car for one final time. 27 pit stops done already. The 28th one is going to be the one that feels like the most important.
So Thomas Preining brings it in. This car, don't forget, started in the pit lane. A pit stop is round about the 2 minutes and 1 second mark. And for as long as Lucas Auer is having to defend from Alessio Rovera, the lap time is not going to be as quick as it could be if he were running on his own. Into Bruxelles they come. So look at the track map. 48's at Bruxelles. And we know where the leader is. He's in the second part of the pit lane, the other side of that pointy hairpin of La Source. Downhill comes Rovera. Clock 35 minutes, and Preining thinking, where's my pit, but he's heading towards it. 28 degrees on the thermometer on that new pit building. Rovera's view peering at the back of that Mercedes AMG, and Lion Speed ready. Take a deep breath, everybody. Make sure this is absolutely perfection. This is a ballet undertaken to get the car cycle through. Don't let the wheel run away. That would be a penalty.
Final check of something on the rear end there. The mechanic just giving it a nod, I assume. Rear brake pads. They probably know they're okay. The only thing they would have done to check that is if the rear pad was low, they would just tell the driver to wind the bias forward to put more load through the front axle. But I think that was more of a precautionary check than anything else.
Clean the screen while the refueling hose is still connected. Even if you don't need all the fuel, you've still got to be connected for the regulation time. And you can see all the bugs on the front and the rubber splattered on the front as well. This is your second and third place fight. And just up the road is a little bit of traffic, and this might help the Porsche, which now drops down and gets away. Thomas Preining is going to bring it home, and look what's ahead of him. It is a Winward Mercedes. Rovera had a bad hand dealt with that. Marvin Dean sitting now behind the wheel of it, but there is the Lion Speed Porsche. Then it's going to keep the race lead as Thomas Preining goes back out onto the circuit, stays within the white line. Now he can accelerate away, and Lion Speed think they've got to win. 33.5 minutes are on the clock. Porsche leads at Spa.
Lots of traffic in front, and traffic that looks like it's having its own race as well. So Preining will be on his toes. He can't afford to lose too much because he has been getting caught while the other two were on the undergut. I think the gap could be down to maybe 15 seconds from the 20-second high he did have before that last round of stops.
Got to be careful through the traffic. There are some drivers here who will be fully cognizant of who and what, but he's got to be mindful that there are some bronzes that may not be expecting his arrival. Anders Fjordbach is the next one in the high-class racing Porsche, and he does everything absolutely right. Anders, a very, very experienced driver, very quick driver too, and he lets the gold leader go as well. So Thomas Preining out of Pouhon. This is lap 5:27 for him now. And from the pit lane to a win in a 24-hour race. As we were saying a little bit earlier on, we had all of that drama of Superpole, the knockout tournament, and here, potentially a car that never took part in it is going to be the race winner, potentially.
An amazing performance in front of a record attendance crowd as well. 132,000 people have attended this Spa 24 hours, and there's been so much drama as well. The weather's been hot, so fair play to them. We've been having to remind people to drink because of local government issues and stuff like that. We've been spraying the crowd with water, but the action has been hot on and off the track, that's for sure.
Looks as though the JMR Corvette, incidentally, is going to be the winning IGTC Independent from high-class racing Kerong Lee, and then the Tsunami Porsche entered for Johannes Zelger. Not all the drivers in each car score points, but those are the cars. As over the timing line now goes the Porsche of Thomas Preining. So what has he got left? 31 minutes and 36 seconds rounding La Source. Put that into laps for us. 15, 14?
Yeah, exactly that. And so I was just making sure WRT weren't doing anything clever on their last pit stop. I had a small feeling because they could go long. I was wondering if they could potentially just do a short fuel to get to the end and save 40 seconds, but it appears not. So everyone has had the same strategy, essentially, bar a couple of laps here and there.
So there you've got the WRT 46 car that Dan Harper Valentino Rossi and Max Hesse have driven. Valle's not really done very much, has he, since this side of 9 o'clock? He's been doing his drive time through the race, yes, but it's been Dan and Max to do the, dare one say, lion's share in the company of a Lion Speed Porsche, but you know what I mean. There is the car. If you're thinking, why does it say 002 on the Lumi rank? Well, it is the race leader in real terms, because the car ahead, the Aston Martin of Enrique Chavez, owes us its final pit stop, and it will do it this time.
Exactly, and then we will have our true order for one final time. All pit stops that are needed are complete. Will anything else throw something into the mix? And the mix is this Winwood Mercedes, isn't it? I'm sure they're going to do everything right, but we did see Rivera get held up through Eau Rouge, a corner that can be done flat, can definitely be done with just a lift off the throttle. Remember, that car had a small brake just as its teammate was coming out in front.
Yeah, that's right. So whether that's going to get looked at, we'll wait and see. It might just be that AF say, oh, it's part of racing, we do the same. They're back on track, goes number 46. Dan Harper will bring that home. We're estimating that's going to be 6th, I think. But you can see spots of rain falling, but they soon evaporate, don't they?
Yeah, even on the windscreen. So imagine the track, which is at 50 degrees. They're getting bigger, the raindrops, and that's what happened the other day. Because of the humidity, the raindrops are huge. So when they do fall, they are fast and hard.
Yeah, it's probably going to descend as soon as you and I set foot outside. It's not off on the way. So round Brussels goes Dan Harper. Enrique Chavez has just pitted, by the way, to now give the lead back officially to Thomas Preining. The fact that this car, I know I'm a stuck record on this, but I still think it's just incredible that after what happened to this car on the first racing lap, it's survived, A. B, it's on the lead lap. C, it's going to get to the finish. D, it's actually led the race on occasions. Just a brilliant effort by Valkenhorst. Yeah, and not to go a lap down early on was quite something.
And the lead Aston Martin.
Yeah,
well.
true.
So there's lots of amazing stats they'll take away from it, and fair play to everyone at Valkenhorst there.
So there is Thomas Preining. That's your race leader. Lion Speed GP started from the pits, not by choice. An engine change meant they were mandated to start from the pits, and the grey and white Porsche weaving in and out the traffic, having a look, not yet getting past Marvin Deans, coming up now towards Le Camp.
Got down to 16 seconds. Remember, it was over 20. I thought it could be 15. 16 seconds, then Lucas Auer is back. Rivera 1.7 behind him, and then Guven 5.3 behind him, and then Leclerc 14 seconds behind that. That's our top 6. So realistically, you would say Rivera's got the best chance of making any of those positions in a different order.
Right, let's have a look where we are in Pro-Am, because the leader in the number 0 Corvette is Ben Green. There, this is also the leading IGTC independent. The drivers nominated for points are the 2 Malaysian princes, Jeffrey and Abu Bakir. So no points to offer to Ben Green nor Jordan Love, but they will get on the podium as Pro-Am winners. So there's the Corvette, 27th place overall. Ben Green down towards the left-hander of Paul, and a good job done by all concerned here. Some good brains that have operated cars both in Europe and down under in supercar racing, as well as in the 24 Hours of Le Mans over the years. This is the car that's going to be second in Pro-Am and also in IGTC Independent. It is the currently driven by Anders Fjordbach Porsche, but the high-class racing car, Karong Lee, Bob Yuan and Leo Yi, the other drivers. So 32nd place overall, but as Anders Fjordbach brings it up towards the chicane, it's really his team, High Class Racing, that operates this, and he is the very rapid Danish driver that's going to bring that car up towards the line. And then what do we do for third? It's going to be the 999 Mercedes, third in Pro-Am, and that has Marvin Klein at the wheel of one of the many tank tape specials that we've got circulating at the moment. This car that we saw having all of the tape applied to it a little while ago. Patrick Charlet, Jordan Boisson and Benjamin Pack are the other 3 drivers. The car is in 33rd place, but 3rd within Pro-Am as it goes now around La Source. Marvin Klein, double Carrera Cup France champion, switching his attentions for this race at least to a Mercedes AMG.
12 more laps to go. 12 laps of 7 kilometres, 84 kilometres to get us home. It's so close now for all these drivers, aren't they? But this is at the highest chance. The fatigue for them, the fatigue for the car kicks in. It's the old cliche of you just keep listening to everything as a driver. Is there a knocking? Is there anything I can do to avoid it? Lots of these drivers will be managing issues that have been in the car for hours upon hours, and that's sometimes the case. That's why we see such a delta in speed from drivers we assume are going to be faster than potentially they are.
Alessandro Balzan leading in silver then for Rinaldi. This has been a competitive car all race and kept out of trouble. Rafael Duran, Dylan Medler, David Perel, the other drivers. Dylan Medler, one of the stars of those one-make Ferrari races at Le Mans 2 weeks back. Second in silver, and you can see only 3.5 seconds back on the road, so it's still a battle. It's Amaury Cordil at the wheel of the WRT BMW, joined by Ignacio Montenegro, Mathieu Dietrich and Mathis Lismont. And then third in silver, AF Course's number 52 entry with another of the